My name is Jerry Ann Hebron. I'm the Executive Director of the North End Christian Community Development Corporation. We run the Oakland Avenue Urban Farm, which has been in existence since 2009, so about 14 years now. And in addition to the Oakland Avenue Urban Farm, we run the Oakland Avenue Farmers Market. I lived in the North End as a child. My family migrated to Detroit in 1952, and we moved to Black Bottom. And then we lived there several years and then migrated into the North End. So I lived here as a child. Everybody knew you, they knew your mama. You know, so if you got in trouble, it was easy to find your mother. In the North End, I know hundreds of people, probably 1,000. The North End was a porch community, which it's becoming that again, where people sit on the porch and talk to their neighbors and wave to their neighbors as they're walking by. It's a vibrant community. So when I think in terms of resident-led development in the North End, I go back to 2004. At that particular time, there was a lot of struggle with people in our community coming together, trying to form one voice in terms of what we wanted to see happen in this community. And part of that had to do with the fact that there had been such a disinvestment in this neighborhood, over 50 years? There was funding coming in sporadically that was earmarked for this neighborhood, but nothing ever happened. So now you got this distrust, right? North End Christian CDC saw that because we were really there, involved in it, and we decided we're going to bring people together. So one of our goals has been to reach out to people, all people. We worked tirelessly, meeting with folks in the Yellow House, in the church, on the land, to have those discussions. And then people started to think, well, you know what? This neighborhood is important. The one goal we had at that particular time was, what do you want to see happen in this neighborhood, and what do you want to see happen along the corridor? And people started talking about, we need a laundromat, we need a grocery store, we need a cleaners, you know, we need a coffee shop and not a Starbucks. And you know, it got people energized, and then people started talking about what used to be here. It's vacant right now, and it's hard to talk about Oakland being a commercial district. But at one time, whatever you needed in this community, be it food, banking, services, furniture, whatever, you can get on Oakland Avenue. So that's what we want to come back. We want our vibrancy back. We want our economic driver back in this community. We want to see this corridor filled with mom and pop businesses supporting this community, where people who live here can walk to work. So all of these properties have stories attached to them, and I'm happy to be able to connect to those stories and, you know, repeat them because they have meaning to what's happening in this community right now. For years, maybe they lived next door to a vacant house or a vacant lot that they didn't know they could buy. And here's somebody in China or Japan or somebody now owns this property, but they're not cutting the grass, they're not removing the debris, they're not doing any of that. So people got really angry about that. And when they got angry, they began to work. So this all came out of the work and the way that we brought people together to talk and to dream and to take ownership of this land back, to take ownership of this community back. It is still going on today, but I would say we're one step further today because now we have the interest of the city of Detroit. So we have worked in collaboration with Vanguard CDC. We have worked in collaboration with King Street Collaborative. We have worked in collaboration with the Historic North End Neighbors Alliance, which is relatively new. We worked with the Storehouse of Hope Food Pantry when they were here. So, but my most favorite work happens at the neighborhood level. We're located in different blocks and things like that, but when it comes to the entire North End, that's one conversation. So what's going on in our community? How is, this new business affecting our community? Things like that. Each one of us want to hold on to our uniqueness. And so in order to do that, you need people who are in these communities, who are doing the grassroots initiative and the source of information that people trust, and you need to incentivize them. And I know funders want to say, well, you need a 990, you need this, you need that. Well, nonprofits do need that, right? But that block club that gets 100 people in the neighborhood excited and involved may not have one. Does that mean that their work isn't worthy? So what I'm saying is you need to find the activists in these neighborhoods. You need to find the people who know the people in the neighborhood, the stories in the neighborhood, and you need to get to them to have them bring people together to develop the narrative for what needs to happen in this community. Because you know what? Each one of these communities is different. The North End is different than Brightmoor. The North End is different than Chalmers Jefferson. Each one of our communities are different. We have a rich culture of arts and music. We are proud to be a Black community, strong and fierce in that belief.